Hey guys, it's Talking coming at you with another game of Geometry Dash, and we are just coming in here to get some practice in on Clubstep. And auto checkpoints are on. Okay, good. I always forget to place them whenever I'm playing, and then I invariably, fail every time I try to place them. So the automatic ones are good until I get to where I want to be, which is just this first ship part, and then we'll get some more. So I felt like fine about this first section, and still do. It's just right here, and that we didn't feel fine about. So we're gonna crack on. All right, so straight in, flatten out, drop, hit, and then yeah, not like that. I think we'll actually back up the, yeah, that's better. Yikes. Hey Atham. Hey Micro Monster. Thank you for the good luck wishes. Hey Hamid. We'll either get better at this, or we'll just fail at it a whole bunch, and then we'll try a later part, and then we'll come back and do it bad again. Yeah, that's right where I died last time. So we definitely need to practice that part, but not before we try this a lot more. Hello, Tangent. Yes, let us go indeed. Not into the spikes. Let us go into the pinwheels. Every time. No, sometimes I hold too far and fall in there. Hey! Well, 34%. How many? Oh, like 4,000 something. 4,000 something. I think like 4,400, something like that. Yeah, my hardest is Death Moon, right? And this definitely feels harder than Death Moon. The flying, it's not as hard as like Shiver, or maybe it is harder and I just don't remember Shiver that well anymore. But the fact that a lot of the spikes are hard for me to see, maybe they're easy for other people to see, but they're hard for me to see. I often will not see them until I run into them, and then I'm like, wait, are they invisible until I run into them? Are they visible then invisible? Do they flash on and off? It's hard for me to tell. Because, like, you die, you run into them, and you're like, man, why didn't I see that? And then you're like, oh, I literally couldn't. Oh, not like that. But we're reasonably solid at the first 25%, right up to here. And so we just have to worry about every segment with the ship and, a bunch of others. I look forward to spending a super long time playing this. No, not all at one time. Because, like, what's more likely? That I'll get good, or... Yeah, see, like, that's often how I'll die there. Because you hold because you want to get down onto the safe level, but then, right. Not like that. Did I see the football game last night? No. No, I don't even know the one you mean. Hello, Evan. Good morning. I crashed again. Alas. Portugal and Spain. No. Well, I'm sure that was very high stakes. I know both teams have proud national traditions. I don't really watch the sport myself, but I am vaguely aware that it exists. I have witnessed games of it being played, although not at anything near that level. You know, mainly like children running around on the field, but I have sat through a whole game. And you say you're surprised to have 32 here, you thought it was too hard. Well, it is too hard, but it doesn't mean it's like impossibly hard, probably. I mean, like, when I evaluated it as being too hard, that was before I'd spent, 23 hours playing Blood Moon. Hello, French fries. Alright, there's one there. Of course there is. You're so close to 1,000 diamonds. What do you do when you have that many? Like, build a house out of them? A new shop. I see. How exciting. I've never been to the shop. I bet it's nice there. Blah. No, no, no. Okay, just keep on doing it wrong. Got it. Alright, go here, flatten input. No, not just a single time. You gotta do more than that. Self. Alright. Tricky. Sound tired? I woke up not terribly long ago, and my coffee is only this far from the top. I mean, I woke up like 3 hours ago, but I laid around in bed watching stuff, and without caffeine, I'm not really awake at all. But often, I can get distracted from the things in life that really matter, like caffeine. Like, it got so cold in my room last night I had to wear a hat. But you know, it was nice. It's because I live downstairs, and so it's always colder down here than it is upstairs in the house. So, which is nice, because normally my computer's on, which makes it a lot warmer in the room, but I was reading a book. And for you say good luck for Clubstep. Well, thank you very much. You know, I'm certainly going to need it. Usually have Diet Pepsi to wake you up. That wouldn't work for me. I mean, maybe it would. I suppose I've never tried. I do love coffee. Man. Like, is this window actually tricky at all, or am I just bad? The questions Geometry Dash makes you ask yourself. I mean, it's probably a combination of both of them, right? I mean, are these the actions of a good player here? They're not. Oh, not the fourth one. Not like that. Man. Okay. Nope. Hey, Battler, how are you? What? Blah. Thank you for your good luck wishes. And good luck on your next hard demon that you're targeting. Man. Terrible. Okay. It's like, I wonder how much better I would do if the things that would kill me were visible. And I'm like, because some of them are. I just can't see them until I hit them anyway. The problem with this game is that it presents too many symbols, and it sort of overloads my senses. And I often can't pay attention to everything, so I just have to pick a couple of things, which is usually, my character and what's right in front of me. So if there's a bunch of stuff that looks like it'll kill me, I just, it all sort of blends together. What? Why is it? Alright, I don't know what was going on there. The ship was acting weird. Maybe the button was stuck. And now we're gonna fail to get through this segment a little bit, even though I normally do okay on it. Your brain gets just like totally ruined by doing a single segment like a couple hundred times in a row, and you forget how to do every other thing in the level, at least if you're me. As if I learned how to do this either, It just goes to show that practice is a waste of time. I don't mean that, but it is for me. Lord knows I haven't gotten any better at this for all the time we've spent on it today or yesterday. No, maybe I was even worse before I started going. Hey, Autumn. Good morning. You say you haven't played it, so you don't want to spoil myself. Well, it is an excellent game. I don't understand. I don't understand it still, even after playing it for like 120 hours. I don't necessarily, I don't know if it's a game that could be spoiled for a person. Certainly not by watching me, because you'll just watch me, do really bad for a while. You'll be like, man, this game doesn't look fun at all. But good morning all the same. I've been thinking of doing a Celeste Core B-side, but I was going to do it last night, and then I was like, I don't know. I bet I'm going to do super bad at it. The scream in this song, not as fun as the rest of the song. It has offended me for the last time. Thing with a lot of these. Yeah, here, Autumn, I'm just practicing a little. Basically, in Geometry Dash, if you get hit, you start at the very beginning of the level again, and they're just different levels, and there are different game modes that react in different ways to the input. It starts off pretty doable and gets to being absolutely crazy. This is like a harder level, but it's nowhere near the hardest. And the game is a very active community of people that make custom maps. and rank what the hardest ones are and all of that. It's very cool. And then there's very cool, like, creative, like, it doesn't all look like this in the modern era. They have some other maps that are much like, you know, I don't know how to describe it. They look cozier. They look like a nice cozy video game. You're still doing this stuff and jumping around, but it's a very different aesthetic. It's not just like a it's not all geometry anymore. It looks a lot different. But this is an older map. Anyway, I'm trying to get better at this. I'm not doing it. I'm really bad. This is the game that gave me the strength to play Celeste again, because I failed so much at it, and I was like, you know what? I bet I can go back to Celeste. I'm like, if I can lose thousands of times in this game, I bet I can go back to Celeste. They focus on the spikes. So some of the spikes have white outlines, and they're the ones that you can't run into here. But theoretically, any of them could be lethal. It's just in this level, in this part, that's the delineation. But like, we'll start at the beginning of the level, so you'll see like more of what a run looks like if a person's not just failing at one section. So we have here, and you gotta hit some orbs and then miss other ones. And again, this is a harder level. And I'm not good. For like a proper good player, they wouldn't have trouble with this. But then here you have a section where the things, you know, are visible and then invisible. Little swoopy portal stuff, and then now we're back at where I was practicing, and I crashed because I'm really bad, right? And I didn't learn anything from hundreds of practice attempts there. But yeah, and of course the game uses things like color and deceptive orbs are the things that we jump off of. You can put orbs that if you jump on them, then you'll die, or that some of them are lethal and some of them aren't. New best. Crash. Hey, still feels good. So it looks like the trick is learning to recognize things quickly so you can read further ahead like an EDR. Exactly. You know, because the portals that we're going through, they have specific colors and like markings on them, and they let an experienced player, you can see what's going on in front of you. And some maps are invisible, or they'll have like memory parts or parts you have to learn. But a huge part of the early game is just, yeah, looking briefly ahead and saying, what do I do so that I don't crash? And then you can go to practice mode to iron out the problems. I didn't learn how to do practice mode for like a while. And sort of brute forced it, but yeah. You say nice run. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, but for those reasons, it's like, even watching a person play a level, I feel like, unless it's a very cinematic level, because there's some very interesting stuff that's been built in this game, but like I don't feel like it's really a game that could be spoiled as such, because honestly, by watching a person play it, it's not the sort of thing that I feel like you would be able to learn very much about how to do. You know, like you would be like, oh, this is that thing where there are those pillars, but until you're doing it yourself, you have no idea how it's going to feel. And also, they're for the real game, I mean, so there's music with the levels, which in a lot of cases like syncs up and stuff. I just have like my YouTube audio library going for copyright reasons and because of repetition. But like there's a specific song that goes with each level, and so I guess, you know, they sync up in ways. I've never played with that, but that's like a whole thing. So it's not just like a blind rhythm game, and these weird songs aren't like the canon events for it. So even that would be like, it would essentially be unspoiling because the whole feeling of playing it with the song. I haven't played any level with the song on, so it in a way it would be a whole new experience for me too. Blah. But anyway, we're gonna go back to practice because we still need to work on that part. But anyway, at least we got it a little bit better on the PB. Sometimes it can be annoying to just bash your head against a part, and you want to play a little bit more of the level. Because that death notwithstanding, I still feel like my first 25% is fine. That death notwithstanding, I did listen to Clutterfunk, not in like the context of the level. I didn't even watch the run while it was on. I just like found the song. Clutterfunk is my favorite level, and I have listened to the song. And I've listened to the song for like something else too. I forget. Crash. Yeah, and here you have a bunch of Decepticons. We'll just practice this a bit in case we... Okay, so you gotta do there and miss that one. And then we have the ball section, which I'll do bad on. Yeah, I'm gonna do so bad here, because I'm so visually driven that, like, it's gonna be incredibly hard to be like, don't hit the orb. I basically am gonna have to gamble on just missing the orb. We're gonna back the checkpoint up a bit, that's, yeah. Man. Well, thank you for the good luck wishes, Autumn. Yeah, it probably won't be today. It may be... What day is today? Monday? No, it won't be tomorrow. It's like we'll just have to accidentally miss the ones that we're not supposed to hit, because they come up on you fast here. You know, like this one, as I hit it again. What? Whoops. Okay, not like that. Not like that. Right, and there you gotta fall down, or is it up? Exactly, yeah. Every time I jump or go off of a thing, I'm inputting. You can hold it down as well. You can input and hold it before you run into it, and then you'll instantly, like, if you're holding it before you hit the ground, you'll instantly jump. If you're holding it before you hit an orb, you'll instantly jump off of it. That's called buffering, or holding if you're doing it for a long time. I'm very bad at that, but it's an important skill. But yeah, so you have to choose which orb you're going to hit and the time that you're going to input on the orb. So sometimes, as the levels get harder, you have very, very small windows or 1 frame windows on the hardest of levels, where there's 1 frame you can make the jump, and, you know, multiple frame perfect jumps in the very hardest of levels. Like, there's a new very hardest level the other day, and I tried for quite some time to make the first jump on it and could not do so. Oh, it's up through the top, not down. And then hit the blue. Amethyst. So they start you off with the UFO, and then you have to make this jump, and I sure couldn't make it. Wow. Yes, it is indeed the new top one. I love how that's the nomenclature for it, for being like the hardest level. It's still just called top one. And then there you get a bunch of little Celeste Mountain looking things. Blah. How's the Minecraft world going, Hyder VR? Oh, it's excellent. I finally built an expansion for my house with a nice glass wall for more room for the pets. My Void cat, Atropa, who's like a historical member of the family, you know, she finally reappeared at day like 500. The lake's awesome. We got like a bunch of turtles and fish in it, and a sick waterfall. And now we're starting on the village that's underneath the river. Very excellent. And of course, if you mean the world of wheat, oh, there's so much wheat there. You wouldn't even believe the amount of wheat. I've planted something like 270,000 wheat seeds there now, and I couldn't be happier about it. Terrible. Yeah, because here, like, this is easy. You just gotta know not to do that, you know, and then you gotta fake, and then UFO section, which people were saying they hated, but I think is gonna be fine, and I'm gonna keep on saying that no matter how good or bad I do at it. The UFO section is fine, and I will do fine at it. We need the checkpoint a little bit further back, I think. See, like I said, the UFO section is fine, and I will do fine at it. See? Told you so. Now the part after it, maybe not so much. Hello, Sugi-san. The Flappy Bird section, yes, that's the UFO. And there are different there are different modes. There's one called a wave that looks like little laser beams, but this level I think was made before a lot of them. Like in the more full version of the game, the maps are dramatically different in basically all aspects. Whoops. Huh. What game mode do I like most? I like ball. No, not that one. You could tell by the X on it you're not supposed to hit that one. Whoops. No, you missed the last one, right? Or something. Man. Yeah, because depending on where you go into that portal, you can have drastically different outcomes, you know. And I guess a better player would be able to identify it while it's happening, but I will, you know, I will remain myself. Don't look for me to become a better player all of a sudden, or even gradually. Man. Nope. Just got 7 1 on Clubstep. Awesome, dude. Keep on cracking on it. I'm sure you'll get it in no time. Or in some time. Alright, yeah, so we have this where we have to remember to do all of this, and then yeah, this is going to be a really rough part. Like I can just tell already that we're going to die there a bunch. And then here too, you know, obviously here too a bunch. Because you want to hit this in like the medium side or the lower half of the portal, or it gets torched, and then we got to go up. That's right. Because it's not really that tricky. You just have to hit it at the right angle, and then as soon as you hit the portal, you can hold. But you can't make it if you hit it too high, even if you hold, because you can't reposition Sir Green Blockinton. You know, he doesn't have the power. And then there's probably a coin route up top there. You can probably just like try to straight fly it a little bit instead of a pure hold. Yeah, and that'll be, because if you don't start off at the bottom there and you hold it in the middle, then you can correct it a little bit easier, right? But you could also crash into the top. Yeah, you know, we'll work on that. Man, apparently not well. Okay. Okay. Man, pretty bad. I keep on doing it just super wrong. I think I'm holding just slightly too early, and that's making me jet up, because I'm trying to hold right at the entrance to the portal, and I'm doing it badly. Probably. Yeah, that was it. Okay, that's not how to do it. That is also not how to do it. Terrible. Equally terrible. Super bad. Yeah, we don't want to do that. That's even harder. Crashed again. Okay. Wow. Right. Whoops. All right, you got to go over that one. Heh. Sure. Blah. Yes, almost. This level is not as hard as I remember it being. It's still very hard, like, for my skill level. Like, I don't want you to think that you're watching me die this much and that I don't get that that's not very good. I get that. But when I played it the first time, like, I was a salty boy, right? Like, I was complaining. I thought this level was just impenetrably difficult. That if you gave me a million years, you know the way I like to engage in hyperbole, I was doing that. I was doing all sorts of that. But now I think it's merely too hard for me to beat easily, but not too hard for me to beat at all, which is a nice positive, way to be. I look forward to dying there, which is a very, very easy place to not die. I think we're going to have a lot of agonizing deaths. I bet we're going to get like a 95 fail. So much bad. At least on Death Moon, I went from like 85 to a completion. We didn't have any heartbreak at the end. Ha! Again. Bye, Evan. Terrible. Of course, a lot of my attempts, they don't even count because I'm playing them. So if you think about it, why is the game even keeping track? Ha! Ha! Amazing. Feels normal. Okay, you gotta... And then there's a little slalom thing there, which I look forward to doing badly, just as I look forward to doing all of this badly. But we should practice this part. This part reminds me a lot of Shiver, only it's less clear what you're supposed to do on account of the colors. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. I'm gonna lose my mind. We'll just need to turn the sound effect off and then I'll be fine. Whoops, a little bit too much there. Ah. Alright, that's a bad checkpoint. We need a checkpoint that's slightly before that on the portal. Ha! And then we immediately use that checkpoint to run into the roof. No, it is a lot better though, because the other one we were already like falling a little bit, which is not how the normal run would be. You know, you just slide on the bottom, probably. I crashed again. How many levels did I beat? I've beat all the main levels except the unlockable ones. And then I've beat 5 easy demons. A little too much again. A little too little again. Man, gotta not do that when the time comes. Definitely gonna do that. Definitely gonna run into all these walls. Definitely gonna do that too. It's gonna be just a shameful display if I ever get here. Literally unplayable. I did it again. Why am I the way I am? Okay, we missed the platform there, which is bad. You say it looks like I'm doing good. You know, this segment of the ship part is easy. I wouldn't say I'm doing good. I feel fine. You know, we added a couple percentage to the personal best on it, so that feels nice. But, you know, as we steadfastly refuse to remember how anything works. That's a good morning, Samuel. Blah. I'm holding it down and it's still going up. Probably because I'm holding it before I go into the portal so it doesn't care. Probably. It's so annoying. That 81%, man, it's just me making bad, yeah, it's me making the same bad choice every time and holding, but I don't know when to level out. It doesn't, yeah, that part's going to be a significant bottleneck for me, I think. Because you absolutely have to hold, but if you do it at any of the wrong moments, then you just die. And that's not great, you know, there's not just not any room for overcorrection, but the angles you hit the portals are entirely important to, like, how much you have to hold too. So, like, again, a stronger player would be able to do it very regularly and maybe even react to the angle they hit the portal in, but I'll just die. What? I hate it. I hate it so much. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I won't beat this level, huh? I mean, I'm not giving up. I think it's actually super unlikely that we'll ever do this part right. Because as you see it right here, like, even in practice mode, we're never doing it right when we're actually focusing on it and nothing else except for complaining and, you know, every other thing that distracts me in life. But yeah, I just think I'll die there every time. I think that 81% is going to eat me up every time. 81% x 100. That's to say, if we even get there, because as you see, we're so bad that we can't even... You say, if I beat Death Moon, I can definitely beat Clubstep, but this level's harder than Death Moon. What are you talking about? This segment right here is so much harder than every single thing in Death Moon is. Sigh. There's that 81% again. There's that 81% again. And there's 81% dying a different way, trying to correct for it. And there's 80% dying a different way, trying to correct for that. And then, of course, the old mainstay, 80% for a different reason. I'm so bad. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, right? Right, it doesn't. It can't matter. If it mattered, somebody would write me a letter about it, and then I wouldn't read it. Dear sir, we've been trying to reach you about what a garbage Geometry Dash player you are. You say flying so hard on controller. It does feel like the hardest of the modes. Even Wave, which is a lot easier on mouse, feels a lot easier than Ship does. Because, like, there's a lot of, like, springiness in the button, so, like, a lot of, like, how the ship responds doesn't feel, like, totally consistent, even, like, for you physically hitting the button, right? Which can be really tricky. But, you know, just one of the problems. When the controller was new, the flying was better, but now that I've just beaten it to death in 2 months of Geometry Dash playing, and it's like withered, you know, it doesn't have that old spring in its step anymore. What? That's so weird. Anyway. I don't care. I'll just brute force it through. Alright, the first two and then we drop or something? Right. What? I don't get it. Oh man. And anyway, this is the part that made me think I'll never beat this level the first time around. You see, this part's kinda hard. Yeah, kinda hard. I think I've legit died here 1,000 times. Which I know isn't much for Geometry Dash, but it feels like a lot for a video game. Terrible. Just terrible. Yeah, progress. That's what it looks like. Me diving down. That's progress. All right. Totally missed it there. Totally dropped like a rock there. I'm just doing this part every kind of wrong that you can do. You say you believe I can beat this level. Do you want to hazard a guess at how many attempts it'll be? Keep in mind, it's at like 5,000 now. I'm hoping for between 10,000 and 15,000. If I beat it ever. Oh, right, it goes up there. Hey, 84 to 92%, we should put that in the description. $10 or $11K? Yeah, hopefully. Because even if I, suddenly learned how to do all of these shit parts, which won't happen, there's still all the other parts to the level that, in the heat of the moment, I could very easily mess up. All the fake orbs that you have to ignore, all the... because whenever I think about a level, I can fall into this trap of being like, there's only 2 parts I need to think about, and then, the rest of it's there. Like on Shiver, if you're familiar with Shiver, at 50%, 53%, it goes down to this big slow section with the block, and I just died there the first time I got there for real, because I had been so focused on all the other parts I needed to prepare for shortly afterward. And then I continued to die to very easy parts on it, Hey, tablet. Because, the hardest parts of the level are the hardest parts, but they're not the only parts. The whole level has to be done. And then there's easy stuff that's just remember to go underneath that one pillar, which I'll probably forget, and that'll be my first 95 fail, whenever we get there. Blah. I was robbed. I should have hit that orb. Robbed, I tell you. Someone ought to write a letter to the editor defending my hitting of that orb. Blah. I was muted the first time I said blah, so I was like, I'll have to unmute and then say blah again so they can know my intonations. The displeasure I feel when watching myself fail is indeed a mirror of your own. What? Come on now, I hit that. I mean, in another very real way, I didn't. You say Clubstep was your 5th ever demon? It will be my 6th, if I ever beat it. Unless I give up and play something else first. But I don't intend to. Oh, right, you can't do that. Whoops. Yes, indeed. Almost. Not quite, but almost. Yeah, so this tree limb is still on my house. The landlord hasn't done anything about it yet. I wish they would. There's a certain size of tree limb where you don't feel qualified to move it around, and it is that size. But there's not a hole in the roof or anything, because it's sort of still in the tree a little bit too, and over a fence. It's a whole thing. But I mean, it's only been 2 days. It just seems like a longer time. think we're probably gonna have to cut the tree down though. It's like 2 storms this year, 3 storms this year, where it's dropped limbs like right around, you know, the telephone pole that it snapped, for example. Yeah, Clubstep seems to be sort of like a rite of passage, right? You know, like everybody, you know, they go and they play other demons, and then they're like, you know, now I finally feel ready, you know, to beat the in-game demon. Not me, I'm not ready. I'm merely attempting to become ready. Right, above that, and then underneath the one after that. Bad. Yikes. Just terrible. So bad. Alright, so there at least we demonstrate an ability to get from this hard section to the end, which I think is the first time we've done anything to 100. So, you know, 85 to 100. Not bad, and the part before that's not too hard, but we'll still try this a few more times before we back up. And yeah. You know, that does feel nice. Two conversions of that section to the end in a very short period of time does feel pretty good. Not like promising, but good. After all, we still have to get there. But considering this is the part that like broke me of the level and made me think I won't be able to do it at all. I thought we were gonna get another one there. Because even with like the ability to get through occasionally, we're still showing no real consistency, right? Because if it takes us 50 times to get through, I mean, how many thousands of runs are we gonna need to get one that goes, and then we'll just crack our head there. Poor Sir Green Blockington. And then jump too late there, or whatever, you know, feels bad. Not bad, it's not the right word. Alright, but we'll back up this checkpoint a little bit here. Yeah, because we still have to get through all of this nonsense. Oh, it's the third one you hit. Okay, you can run into that there, not ideal. And then yeah, we'll just miss that. You know what? Let's just try some runs real quick. Even though we're absolutely not in any preparatory state to win. I mean, ultimately, who cares, right? Sometimes it's just nice to get some real attempts in after a bunch of practice and see if you can get any further than you have before. Well, you know, that's not promising. Okay, that's not perfect either. Whoops. Feels bad. I'm like, let's see if we can beat the game. Proceeds to die at 18%, making very, very rookie mistakes. Nah, that's not fair. A rookie couldn't even make it to 10% to die here. Okay. You say the coin pass more easy than normal. It's not, though. There's actually a big window to hit that orb that'll make you die, and a relatively small one to get through. It's not as simple as just hitting the second orb. You got to hit it at the right time, and I probably won't. Whereas if you go to the top, all you have to do is hit the orbs, and while you'll see me fail at it, it's not because the window is small, it's just because I'm bad. But the window on the medium one is smaller. Okay, I can just do that. Yeah, don't know why I'm worried about 80% if I can't even get to 5. Yeah, let's just not jump. You say I could buffer it. Well, maybe you can buffer it. I can't. If I even think about buffering something, I'll just do something else wrong in the game immediately. Just anytime I die, just assume I was thinking about buffering an orb. Bad. Terrible. Okay. Fine. Aw, really? Okay. Sure. Wow. Blah. What? I think we hit our heads a little bit on the ceiling or something, and it drastically altered the trajectory. It's definitely an unexpected angle for me. I didn't... Didn't have the mental preparation to die that way. I thought we were going to die a different way shortly afterwards. Shows what I know about anything. Okay. Okay. Just like there, I had anticipated a slightly later death to a slightly later reason. It was not to be. Okay. Fine. I'll run into that wall. Wonderful. Alright, I'm just totally brain dead now. Got it. Great. Hi, Samuel. Thank you for your good luck wishes. I'll certainly need them in the event that I don't beat the level. Don't feel like there's anything wrong with your ability to give people luck. It's just that I am incurably unlucky when it comes to Geometry Dash. No, I'm just bad. Luck has nothing to do with my gameplay. No, it's got something to do with it. Surely. Sometimes I do get lucky. Not there. Oh, the button got stuck. That's the opposite of lucky. That's just logic. You say try 2545. Yeah, we did that a lot earlier, and I didn't get any better at it. I guess I could do it again. Because I did it several hundred times earlier in this run, and it just went super bad, and I concluded that I was not ever going to get better at it, so I wanted to go do other stuff so I didn't get mad. I guess we could go back to it. Normally I just quit playing whenever I feel like I need to go back to a segment. Like, whatever, I'll do that whenever I return. But I have a very stupid way of playing Geometry Dash. I set myself up for failure and then wonder why I fail so hard. Man, it is getting hot in here. Probably this shirt. Anyway, I am gonna take a very short break. I'm gonna go grab a drink and change my clothes. But with the camera off, we'll be totally safe. Anyway, I will be back in about 2 minutes. Alright. Man, I gotta tell you guys, I hate the Arkansas summer. It is oppressively hot. There are very few charms to it. Alright. Put practice back in the title so no one gets excited. And yeah, we'll just try that shit part again for a little bit. And fail to get through anything at all. You say W, sure? Oh, thank you. Yes. Okay, terrible. Back to failing at this. Name a more iconic duo. Ah, me. Ah, well. At least we've got nice, cool Mountain Dew. I don't know what it tastes like, but it sure is good. You know, I know everybody says it, but it really is the little things in life, you know, the tranquility of repetition, of running into the wall in Geometry Dash repeatedly, and getting a nice cool drink afterward. That's what it's all about. Ouch. Terrible. Okay. Hello, Legolas. We are failing! Ah, man, that's so obnoxious. What? I don't know why it's so irregular. It's just, you know, I'm hitting it probably like 3 frames apart and it makes a huge difference. There's like so many where it's just fine, and then there's a very early hold there where you hit the bottom of the ship on the corner and then it goes all wonky. Unfortunately, it seems like that's the one I do the most. Say you're nervous you have your final math exam in calculus tomorrow. Well, hopefully you will have, you know, been diligent in your studying throughout the semester, and your hard work will pay off. What? Okay. If you pass it, you'll finally return to charge rush and grind demons. Well, I hope you'll pass it. And that's the thing about, like math and science classes. Like I remember from like my chemistry classes in college, like you just it's a lot of stuff if you don't already have your background, like if you weren't acting right through the first, 3 months of chemistry for majors, you might be in some trouble when it comes to the final exam. I did well, but I remember there were some people in my class that were like definitely playing it a little fast and loose with it. I mean, sure, I went to bed at like 10 p.m. and woke up at 2 a.m. and studied all morning and for the final, sure, but that's what you got to do. Because while I was sort of prepared, I was nowhere near as prepared as I should have been. I'm just gonna die here so much. I'm so bad. I honestly think I'm worse at this than all of the other ship parts, and it's not the hardest one, but it is irregular. You're studying engineering. You say it's actually difficult because even with a strong background, you got the critical thinking. Yeah, for sure. I have a couple of friends that are engineers, and that is definitely how they describe it as well. That the application, like most people, it's like I have a friend that's a physicist. And he says it's funny because like most people like that don't know anything, they'll be like, oh, physics would be cool, but I can't do the math. And he's just like, look, it's like how a 4-year-old could do physics. Because being able to do the math is, the bare minimum. Being able to do the math for engineering is the bare minimum. You still have to be able to, apply everything to whatever field it's in. But, because most people don't have even the background, they're like me, like I had a lot of chemistry classes in college and biology and stuff. And plenty of people will be like, oh yeah, that's cool, but I can't X or Y. And I'm like, look, like, if you can't do the math for like titration in chemistry, you're not actually interested in chemistry. It's not that hard, like you don't really know what you're talking about. And these same people will be like, can I mix this and this? I'm like, look, you don't mix any chemical with anything but water. If you can't draw an equation for me and tell me what's going to happen and how much heat's going to be reduced or absorbed or sent out into the world explosively, what's going to go on? Anyway, I have been at a workplace where somebody made elemental chlorine in the mop sink before. Not ideal. Nobody got hurt. It didn't make the papers. There are so many incidents every year of people doing what I would call unsanctioned bleach chemistry in workplaces all across the world. But most of the time, no one gets hurt, and that's good. Some of the times people do get hurt. Don't mix chemicals. It's bad. Hey, Bobby, aka. How are things in the life of Mr. Kalishnikov? The only science is mixing Diet Coke with Mentos. Well, that is perfectly safe. Nothing could ever go wrong. Like you say, you don't know why, you just absolutely hate bio and chemistry. Well, not every discipline appeals to everybody, right? There's a lot of biology where I totally get why people wouldn't think it's interesting. Now, microbiology, my favorite type of biology, is so wonderfully fascinating, in my opinion. And it has the best lab in all of college that I was ever in, where we went out to like dirt or a place in the corner of a restroom or a door handle and like scraped it, and then we grew the bacteria that we found there. And then through the course of the lab, we had like one that she gave us to my professor, uh, and then we we did all these different tests over the course of the semester, and then at the end, there's these manuals called Bergey's Manual of Systematic Bacteriology, which are like this big. All the manuals are, but you can start at the beginning, and then with the results of your tests, anyone in the world, if they had access to a biochem and like microbiome lab, would be able to figure out what a bacteria is just using these books and like the procedures that they teach you in the class. And I just think it's super cool. What was my major? My major was psychology. I'm no longer in school or anything. I haven't been in college in a long time. I did not graduate. I had 94 credit hours. But I was a psychology major, and I could have gotten either a biology or a chemistry minor. But, you know, I dropped out my senior year, so I have none of those things at all, really. But I'm like basically not at all interested in the kinds of like parts of the psychological discipline that most people are like appeal to. Like I don't care about abnormal psych at all. I liked like statistical methods. That was a cool one. Statistical test method, that was the name of the class. It was like a 4,000 level class. It was real cool. Human behavioral ecology was excellent. Like I took like a class on, it was called learning and memory. That was like an upper level one that was like a bunch of, you know, rat lab type of applications. Very fascinating stuff. And then like social psychology, but yeah, like individual human psychology I find incredibly uninteresting as an academic discipline. But a bunch of the other more macro level stuff I do think is very fascinating. And that was what I spent the bulk of my studies on. Because as you know, in college you can sort of pick a lot of what you take beyond, you know, the core of whatever major. So that was the all of my coursework was about like stuff like that whenever I, you know, chose my classes. Because my major path, I was actually able to not take an abnormal psych class at all, which was great. There's like some like drugs and behavior class that I was able to take that fulfilled like that track or whatnot. I was like, look, because I don't care about what's wrong with people. I literally could not be less interested in the names of things that are wrong with others, or me for that matter. Don't care, didn't ask, don't want to know. But like figuring out like how advertisements work, that is important information and fascinating stuff. We died. Blah. Okay. Bad. Crazy Bus. You say, awesome, going for Clubstep. Yep, you know, in a manner of speaking, what we are doing is playing it. I don't know if going for it is going to be... I'm not doing so hot on some of it, right? Like this part specifically. The first 25% is good, you know, like we got it. It's not like totally in the bag, we still fail plenty, but it's fine. But here, I've just been having the worst trouble getting through it. But yeah, I finished all the other levels that weren't unlockable, you know, so we haven't beat Theory of Everything 2. He said I was doing bad in electrodynamics at first, still managed to beat it. Yeah, you know, exactly. And this is, after all, like attempt 5,000 or so. It's not like we're not putting the work in. I'm certainly not expecting to walk into Clubstep and beat it, you know. Whoops. Ah, come on. That should have been fine. That should have been fine. Yeah, you know, if Clubstep's an easy demon, it must be the upper bound of what an easy demon can be, right? And if it's a medium demon, then it must be the lower bound of what a medium demon could be. Because I've played an amount of easy demons now, and I'm not an expert in the game, but, you know, this is harder than most of them. Hey, Orange Froggy. Ah, come on. How am I going to not jump there? Have I tried Extreme Demons at least practice? Yeah. From the day I started essentially streaming this game on YouTube, which was, you know, like, I didn't play it before I streamed it. The very first one somebody sent me, it may not have been the first recommendation, but it was the first crazy hard one, was Verdant Landscape. And they were like, hey, you know, if you want a little break from, you know, beating Stereo Madness. But I usually don't bother, because they just divide my attention, and I don't get any enjoyment out of crashing 1,000 times in a level that I literally can't beat, right? I mean, like, I'll play him for like 45 seconds or a minute. I'm like, oh, this was fun for nobody. Look, I can't make the jump at the beginning, just like you knew I couldn't, you know. I don't get it. Whoops. Black Blizzard, I feel like that's another one people have sent to me. Most of the really big name ones people sent me, and quite early in my Geometry Dash playing career too, you know, like before I beat Dryout, people were sending me to Tidal Wave. Say they tell me to play him just to see my reaction to him. I'm not really a reaction kind of guy. Well, bad angle there. Still, 24 to 54 is not bad. It does represent, you know, the ability to get through, you know, another chunk of the game. And if we can do it again right here, then we can act good about it. As I said, we'll be able to... What? Alright, you know, a little bit too early there. You say the 50 UFO is very hard. I'm actually pretty good at the UFO section, although you'll see me die there. I feel fine about it. Okay. Like I said, though, the UFO is not hard, and I like it. No matter how many times I die there. Ah. Blah. Am I watching One Piece? No, not really. I read like the first 1,050 chapters or whatever. I'm like several months behind, many months behind now. I've only watched like 100 episodes or something, but I have read, like I said, most of it. I was far ahead of the anime for a bit, but I don't know where it is there. What did I think about One Punch Man? Never read it or seen it. I am aware that it exists, but only in the vaguest of senses. I believe he defeats people using one punch. His name is Saitama or something. I'm on the internet all the time, so I often see things talked about, but I don't like have any contextualization. Like I've never seen Naruto, but I have seen a very large number of words about Naruto written down. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But no, I don't really watch any anime at all, or read manga at all. One Piece is the only manga I've ever read, and this was just like a couple of years ago when I read it. And my anime background is basically the stuff that was on Adult Swim in 2004. You know, so that's basically that's my background. So Dragon Ball Z, Trigun, Samurai Champloo, Rurouni Kenshin. Just the stuff that was on TV. And usually I was just like some of it I quite liked, but like stuff like Dragon Ball Z, which was fine, but like I never like cared particularly. A couple of my friends were super into it though, so so we were all playing Goku and Trunks and Cell on the playground because like that's what you do. You play tetherball and pretend to be Goku. That's just what's hot on the streets. Terrible. Bad. Vinland Saga? Yeah, that one's been recommended to me a lot. I basically just like don't watch television at all. Like at all. I have like a couple TV shows that I watch like reruns of, but I don't stay current on anything that's on TV. I like that one, but we heard it earlier. Like the thing about television and film is that it demands my attention, right? And sometimes, often, I don't want to give my attention to a piece of media. I want to, have it sort of passively on in the left while I play a video game. Because like in my free time, I basically only want to be playing games or, like reading books or something. I don't have any time to budget to like sit around. I don't own a couch. I mean, like there's one in the house. It's upstairs, you know. But like I don't have one. I have like a chair in the other room where I sit and play GoldenEye when I play my N64. But yeah, I don't own. I have a CRT TV, but I don't have like a modern TV at all. And I guess I could watch it on my computer, but then I'm sitting in my chair, like paying attention to something that I'm watching? I'd rather play a game. Because you can't even passively watch an anime because the English dub is always so bad compared to the Japanese voice acting. So, I can't, of course, understand Japanese. So I have to read it. And then sometimes I'll like set some time apart and try Albion Online Ultra Cold Terraria. I have played Terraria before. The final boss defeated me. The final boss of inventory management. It is the most dangerous foe in any video game. My favorite part of Geometry Dash is that there's no inventory management. If this game made me manage my inventory, I would have quit it a long time ago. It's the one thing that I can't abide. Whoops. But Terraria was super cool, and I might go back to it someday, but man, the inventory made me so mad. Y'all don't even know. I really can't express, even though I have a fine command of the English language, how much I hate inventory management in games that don't let you read words. Like, it's all pictures and they all look the freaking same. Hello, Eraser. Good luck with your exam, Legolas. I'm sure you'll crush it. Just look at the first question and say, what do your elf eyes see? And, you'll look at the first question and go, they're taking the hobbits to Isengard! And it'll all just fall into place. You'll do great. Alright, let's try this for real a little bit. Obviously, we're not good enough to beat the level yet, but I bet we can hit the personal best forward. And if not, well, I don't have too much longer to play anyway right now, so might as well. Ah. Ah, come on! New best, I guess. how could I miss that orb? That should have been like at least 10% more of a best before we died. Alright, let's get back to it. Ah, bonked the roof. Fine. So, I mean, in spite of the hiccups on the early part of it, we're still, in spite of doing that too, while I compliment myself for how good I'm doing, why don't we just die? But, I mean, it's very high consistency here in the first 25%. You know, sure, there's the hiccup at the very beginning, but I feel like even a good player might do that sometimes, so me, a bad player, will do it often. Crushing it. Ah, well, you know, hey, 48%. That is a massive improvement. We died right at that part on the ball where we inputted too early, just like we did a few times in the practice, but feels actually really good, right? Because now, I mean, 48%, we can hang our hat on that. That's a big improvement. We started the day at 32, you know? I'll have time to eat a sandwich and give myself a haircut. What kind of sandwich, you ask? You didn't. I got some French bread. I'm gonna toast it in a pan with some butter, and then I'm gonna eat hard salami on top of it. It's gonna be great. The old Genoa salami. A little salami and bread sandwich. I do love salami and bread. All right. Crushing it. Ha 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 ha! Yeah! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Absolutely awesome. Feels great. We can just erase that 48% from the title. It don't matter no more. Nobody cares about that. That is so yesterday. All right. Ha ha. And that is how to manufacture a good feeling out of nothing, guys. Yeah, DK man. Orange Frog, you say, see, I'm capable of doing this. You know, maybe. Just a few more sections to tighten up. Like I said, that UFO part, like, even though I'll die on it sometimes, I don't think it's too hard, and I like it. I have liked every UFO part people say is terrible. I think I just like the UFO. There's something, like, really logical about the motion that appeals to me, to where every time I make a UFO mistake, I think, oh, that was me, you know, I didn't have the heart of the UFO with me, you know. Whereas the ship, all sorts of times, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on there. I think it's because with the UFO, you have so much time of waiting in between choices. So it, you know, the potential just lingers in the air there. And you can see all of fate laid out in front of you, like a beautiful geometric spiral. And then you can crash. Terrible. I came in, you say, what's up? What's up is I'm doing awesome at this level. I mean, not awesome, that would be beating it, but we've jumped to 60% for a personal best. And moreover, I actually, like, once we tighten up that ship section, which is not even terrible anymore, right? I feel pretty solid about the whole first 60%. I say it's not terrible. We run into the wall. Well, not the wall, the spike, which is not part of the wall. It is attached. But I gotta slow down, right? Because if I do too good on this, then I'll beat it. And then I'll have to learn another level. No, I'm just playing. Obviously, I want to beat this. Ah! Terrible. Pink Floyd, yes, big fan. No! I went the swag route and it got me all off on the timing. Still markedly better at that ship section. After saying I wasn't getting any better at it, I got better at it suddenly. That can happen sometimes. Ah, better, yeah. I'm not lucky this isn't Silent Clubstep. I chose what level I'm playing. Nobody could just make me play Silent Clubstep by accident. Luck had nothing to do with it. But yes, no, people talk about that one a lot. I remember when they first mentioned it, I just thought they meant playing Clubstep with the sound off. I'm like, I'm playing Silent Clubstep right now, bro. And they're like, no, it's a name. Pretty bad there, just like holding the input through the portal or something, I don't know. Okay, let's just degenerate into not doing anything right. Got it. Okay. Back to 4% fails. Terrible. Ah! Much too late on that jump. Feels bad. Nope, nope, nope. Blah. Okay, let's just not hit that orb at all. Feels bad. Sometimes you can think too far ahead if you're me, and then you don't do anything right, because you're like, yes, I will simply hit the orb and then ignore this orb, and then you, like, don't hit the third orb of the level because you're thinking about 40% again. Which, you do need to think about the future, but not at the expense of the present. And, the difference between the two is where the complication lies. Blah. Say your best on Clubstep is 19%. Well, just 2 days ago that was better than mine, or 3. If you put your mind to it, you too can suffer thousands of times on Clubstep and get to 60% maybe. Blah. Nope. Well, anyway, guys, I've got to get on with my day. I need a haircut, and the guy that does my hair has an opening, like, right now, so I've got to run into the next room and plug in the buzzer and let him do his work. He works for free, but he sure can talk. So I wanted to thank all of you for being here. This has been a much more successful stream in terms of progression than I had dared to hope. And, well, one more. But, a couple more till I get on talking. But, thank you all for being here. I know I say it all the time, but your support really does mean a lot. I mean, not least that I definitely would have quit playing this game a super long time ago if it wasn't for everyone's kind words and support and, and cheering me on and stuff. Like, it really makes it all feel like more of an accomplishment with people around. It's super cool, and I really do value y'all hanging out and spending your time with me failing at this level. So thanks for that. But this is actually the last run now. It's possible that we'll play tonight, but I doubt it. I got real life obligations and stuff. We'll certainly play Clubstep on Wednesday or Thursday of next week. One, I'm not sure which, for either a couple hours or 10 minutes if we beat it. But possibly before then. But perhaps I'll see you around. But until then, bye everyone. Bye Siggy-san, bye Orange Froggy, bye Eddie K-Man, bye French Fries, bye Crazy, Bobby, whoever else happens to be around. Really appreciate all of you so much. Thank you. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I might be on in like 45 minutes to like play a little Minecraft for 30 minutes, maybe plant some wheat or something. Perhaps I'll see you there. But if not, the future is expansive, and perhaps at some point there we will run into each other. I certainly hope so. Y'all have a good day.